I'm pretty much sure you can start with machine learning. Okay, like this is only like that's enough how much you are required to start with machine learning. So if anyone is going for that domain, they're really good to go. They can start with any course or anything. Okay. Also, we are even having an ML program also, which Sandeep will be talking about at the end of the session with you guys. Okay. All right. So, guys, if your friends are also joining, just let me know so that I'll just wait for a few more minutes. Otherwise, I'll be just starting the session. Okay, so Lalita, like by the end of today's session, you will have covered pretty much everything about Python. Okay, so now that you have known, I will just see in today's session I've included some many problems. So try solving them. Curly brackets and this hydrogen. This thing is called key, and this hydrogen stores a value one. Okay, so this is how it is interpreted. Let me visible this. I think this might be perfect. So yeah, so element is a dictionary which contains three keys: hydrogen, helium, and carbon. Okay, and hydrogen has a value 1, helium has a value 2, carbon has a value 6. Okay, now important thing about dictionary that these keys must be unique. Okay, okay, so for example, you can't have another key called hydrogen. Okay, so in hydrogen only, maybe you can add more things. Like for example, you can just create a list and store some more values, one, two, three, like this, or maybe some string also, Subham, and like this. Okay. So you can store like this, but we'll cover this in the later part. Okay. I don't want to make it much more complex right now. Just think of it like as a key value pair. So this is called key, this is called value. So for example, if I want to know what's the value of helium, okay, so what I'll do is that element of bracket helium. Okay, like in list what we used to do is elements, and now since it is at 0 1, index is 1, we used to do like this. Okay, we used to search like this through the index method. Okay, but in this dictionary makes it much more easier, so you can directly just search with the key name. So what you do is that you just type the key name, which is helium, and it will give back to you what's inside the helium key. Okay, so for example, let me run this. So here we are creating a variable called elements first. Now see, you can also read till then. A dictionary can have keys of any immutable type, like integer, tuples, and not just strings. So like I said, these keys can also be anything. Okay, it's not necessary. It has to be a key. Like it not necessary. It has to be a string. So for example, you can create a dictionary like this also. So one which stores maybe a list of more numbers, maybe a list of strings. Okay, you can maybe like make it like this. So Subham. Okay, so this is also a dictionary. So if I run this, let me just make it an element. Otherwise it will get name. Okay, yeah, name is fine. So you can even store it like this. And when I ask it that here Python, tell me what's stored in name one. So it will say Subham and Surana is stored. So as you can see, it's not necessary that your key has to be a key, it has to be a string. Sorry again. Doesn't necessarily has to be a string. It can be anything. It can be an integer. It can even be a tuple. Okay, anything. And it's immutable. Like I said, you can't change the name of the key. Okay, it's like if it's stored hydrogen, it's hydrogen. Okay, you can maybe delete it and all, but you can change the name of the key. You can change the key value. You can change. Okay, so for example, name one. Now I want to store uh, maybe some list of something. Okay, okay. Now let's just print out name. All right. So see, at first it was stored Subham Surana, and now it has Subham. Okay. So you can change the value, but you can't change the name of the key. Okay. I hope this is clear. Let's move on. So you can print. Let me just run this also and show you. So see, print elements of helium. So helium में क्या था पहले 2 था, so it printed 2. Now I change the helium to the lithium to 3. Okay, so now lithium gets assigned. Okay, no, I think we have added one more thing, na? Yeah, there was no lithium, so we added one more element. We can add it as simple, just we do it in list. Okay, so elements of lithium equals to 3, and it inserts lithium with a value 3 into the dictionary. Okay, so this is how you can store it, and we can print when we print it, elements, you can see lithium is being added. Okay, and we can also change the value also, like I mentioned. Okay, all right. So let's have a quick question. Okay, I just wanted this session to be very very interactive. Okay, because this is our last session. Okay, so let's open your terminal or anything. Maybe you can even open your Google Colab also. Quickly open it, or like if you need time, just tell me in the chat box, sir, I need time to open the terminal or something. Okay, wherever you code, just be ready with it, and just let me know if I can show the question. Okay, if I can display the question. Just type in the event discussion chat box that, sir, please continue, show me the question, I'm ready to code. Just give me a yes, a thumbs up, anything. All right, Toothless says I'm ready. That's good. Others, are you ready to solve some questions and all, like improve your status and all? Because unless you code, you won't learn. Okay, so try to code. It's not necessary that you need to know. All right, just one guy. Come on, anyone else? Ujjwal ready? Okay. Srijit, you were also very interactive. Lalita, you also wanted to start programming, right? So this is your opportunity. Start coding right now. You don't have to do anything. Just open a web browser and type Google Colab. Okay, is the simple way to code in Python. Just type Google Colab and open this first link, whichever appears, and just create a new notebook. Okay, a simple process. Create a new notebook over here, as you can see. All right, great. So I see 4 yes. Okay, let's go. So the question is, you have to just make a dictionary, okay, which has keys New York, Spain, Dhaka, Mumbai, and this key has the value 17.8, 13.3, this much. Okay. So if you want, I'll just copy paste in the chat box also. Just make a new dictionary, okay, which has this key and values. Okay. A very simple task to get you started, so that you know what is dictionary, how to create a dictionary. Because unless you create yourself, you won't be learning. Okay. So I just want you all to do this simple task. Just create a small dictionary. Name it anything. Okay. You can name it maybe data, or you can name it maybe countries or anything. Let's see who write down this first. I have already shown how to create a dictionary. All that you just have to do is start with a curly bracket and start storing the keys in the string format and the values in the integer, because here already you can see that it's a in string. New York is a string, Spain, Dhaka, Mumbai, and these are all floats. Okay. All right. So we have an answer. Let's move forward. So as you can see, it's very simple. You can name it anything and store it simply like this. Okay. I hope this is clear. A very easy thing. So if I print it, it will give me all these things: New York, Spain, Dhaka, Mumbai. Okay. All right. Let's proceed further. So now, see, there's something called get. Okay. Now, why do we use get? See, we use get, for example, if we are looking for a key. Okay. So see, in population, we have New York, Spain, Dhaka, Mumbai. Okay. Now, if I want to get the uh, London population. Okay. But I don't know like whether London is present or not. But I just wanted to know if what's the population of London. So I printed it, and it will say none. Okay. So this is the way of get, like you can also, this is also one more way to get something. Because see, what happens is that, why are we using this get function is because you can do this in this way also, like population of London. Okay, now tell me population of London. But if you do this, what will happen is that it will throw an error. See, so when you will be writing some complex codes, where you will be getting like, this is just a one line of code. But when you will be making some program or writing a piece of code, you don't want your code to throw some error when it's not able to find something. Okay, so this is a perfect way. So for when you use get, if the key is not present, it will just simply return none. Okay, but if it's present, it will give the output. So for example, Dhaka is already present. So if I run Dhaka, it will give me the output 13.0. Okay, let's make it London again. Alright. So see, there's also one more way. Like if you want, you can generate your own output. Okay, like you can say that there's no such element if you want. Like if London is not present, print this thing that there's no such element. So it makes your program much more like user friendly. Okay, because now your program is also responding that maybe this data is not present in my list in my data. Okay, so I hope this is clear. The function of get. Okay, sorry, not function, a method. Okay, get is a method. Like I explained in the previous class that when you use a dot notation, it's called a method. Okay, now let's move on to the compound data structures. Okay, so like I said, in the dictionary you can create more thing. Okay, so see, it's a dictionary of hydrogen helium, but this key contains another dictionary. As you can see, this is a dictionary, starts with a curly brackets and have some key value, right? So this is a much more compound data structures. Okay, because it's a dictionary containing a dictionary. All right, so a dictionary can also contain a list. Okay, so for example, hydrogen के अंदर का value एक list है, which I've showed in the previous example. Let's run this and let's move on. So for example, if I want, see, very simple languages, in English language only it is, if season is spring, then plant the garden. Elif, season summer, water the garden. Season fall, harvest the garden. Season winter, stay indoors. Okay, else, unrecognized season. Simple. So when I run this, here it is mentioned fall, so it will say harvest the garden. Okay, see, fall, harvest the garden. So if you have more than two possible cases, like if the if else doesn't satisfy your need, then you can use elif. Okay, then you can go to elif. Got it. Now just to summarize it, let me open it. So if statement always start with an if clause. Okay, and it needs to be have a condition, and it checks the condition. If the condition is evaluated to true, the Python runs the code. Okay, and if it evaluates to false, Python moves forward and skip everything which is inside the if statement. So ये if statement के अंदर जो भी है, okay, ये तभी run करता है when this condition is true. Okay, so if this condition is true, then it will run this statement. If it's not, it will just skip it. All right. Now elif also does the same thing. It's a short for else if. Okay, so else और if को मिला के elif बना है. Now it is used to check a previous clause. Okay, कि if statement यदि evaluate होता false, so ये like fall था. Now season is not spring, so obviously this condition is false. So elif does the task for her, it that if it is false, I will check the condition and I will run it. Okay, you have already seen in the previous example, same goes with else. Okay, all right, so we have another question. Let's get started because we have a lot to cover in this session. All right, so the question is, yep, all right, so write an if statement that lets a student know which of these grades they got based on the number they got in exam. Okay, so for example, the mark is between 100 to 90, then the student will get grade A plus. If the mark is 90 to 80, the student will get grade A. Okay, so I hope this question is clear. And one more thing, all these bounds are inclusive. Okay, so यदि किसी को like for example 100 आया, so he will get A plus. Okay, so wait, let me check. Yeah, all the lower and upper bounds here are inclusive, and marks can only take on positive integer values up to 100. Yeah, and marks can only be up to 100. So यदि 100 से ऊपर कोई user input करता है, तो you can just maybe print out that you inputted the wrong number. Okay, so just to get you started with if else, a very simple question. I hope it's clear. If you have any doubt, just let me know. You just have to use if and else, if elif, because since we have multiple cases, so obviously you will be using elif, and then at the end you can maybe use an else statement to print that if nothing is like if it's not even between 100 to 90, 90 to 80, and not even less than 40 and greater than 0, then obviously you entered the wrong marks. Okay, so I'm just giving you a hint. Now you try to code, try it yourself. So just let me know if you have any doubt or anything you wanted to ask, or if anything that is not clear. So these are the marks, these are the grade. You just have to write if the marks like is between, first what you will do is that you will take an input, like you will create a the user. Okay, now the variable, you will check that if the variable is greater than 90 and less than equals to 100, then obviously we'll give a plus. If it's greater than 80 and less than equals to 90, you will give a. Greater than 70, less than equals to 80, you will give b. Very easy, guys. Alright, so just let me show you the code now. I think you have already done. You can just share it in the text channel when you are done. For others, let me just share with you. So what we will do is that we will take an input. Okay. So for example, we take, okay, let me take an input. Okay. So I have taken the input from the user, and I'm checking if it's greater than 40 and less than equals to 50. It will be grade E. Greater than 50, less than equals to 60, D. So this is how elif L, like we have already talked about it now. If elif 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 and then else. Okay. So simple. Now if I print it, I mean run it. So it will first ask me marks. So I say 75. Alright. So according to our here, 75 should give me C. Correct? So let's hope our code also gives us C. Okay. It's giving us B. Mm-hmm. Did we do something wrong? A plus A. Obviously it will be B. Then why here it is written C? Oh yeah, 75. Sorry. What I'm doing? Yeah. So 75 will give us B because it's between 70 to 80. So it has given us B. Okay. So simple code using if elif. Okay. So any doubt? I think someone just unmuted themselves. Alright. So I will continue. If you have any doubt, you can just ask in the chat box. Okay. Now moving on. Complex Boolean expression. Okay. So if statement sometimes use more complicated Boolean expressions for their condition. Okay. So maybe they can contain multiple comparison operators. All right. So for example, if you will see here, so if I wanted to know that weight divided by height, height ka power 2, okay. So if its power 2 is greater than equals to 18.5 and less than equals to 25, then it is the BMI, body mass index, which is called, is considered normal. Okay. So you can use multiple like this also. This is for complex Boolean operators. All right. Or maybe like you can just use an and. So if it's raining and is sunny, is there a rainbow? So you can use and also, and operators, or maybe an odd operator also. All right. It's just you can just go through this stuff. Okay. I'll be sharing this notebook. Don't worry. So some good and bad examples. So first of all, don't use true or false as conditions. Okay. So if you can see over here, here we have specified the condition true. So never use this. Why? Because true will always be true. Okay. So never use this kind of thing. Otherwise, it will just keep printing this. Okay. And like for example, if you're running in a loop and all, so it will never execute to the else part. Okay. So never do this. Okay. And another thing, similarly, it's useless to use any condition that you know will always evaluate to true. Okay. So for example, here what you are doing is that is cold or not you are using. So it's not a good way, because obviously अगर cold है, अगर ये true हो गया, तो obviously this will be false. Not है, not is cold. So obviously it will be again true. True or false, it will be true. So that's why you can just go through this stuff. I mentioned something like be careful using expressions that use logical operators. Okay. Don't compare a boolean with equals to true or false. So never do this kind of stuff. Okay. You can just simply type if is cold, because Python already understand if it's true, it will interpret it. Okay. You don't have to compare it. Like अगर is cold में तुम्हारा already true है, you don't need to compare it like this. You just simply type is cold, because इसका value already true है ना. So you don't have to worry about this. Now let's go to the truth value testing. Okay. uh, this is a very simple thing. Okay. Three errors and all, you can just go through yourself. Let me just go through a quick question to explain you something. Okay. Because this is important. Okay. uh, wait, it is, yeah, if else is covered, I think pretty much. See, if else is very easy. Okay. You just need to define a condition. So here if you can see, we defined a condition: altitude jadi less than 1000 and speed is greater than 100, print true. So it's very simple. You type if, then the condition, a colon, and hit enter, and type your code whatever you want it to run. अगर ये statement, ये condition true हो जाता है तो okay. So let's not go deep into it. Let's not dedicate much more time. Let's start with the for loop. Okay. Now, another important control flow statement is called for loop, and basically we use is to iterate. Okay, to do something repeatedly. So, for example, this example, take this example. There's a list called cities, which has different cities in it. So, what if I want to print every city in it? Okay. So, what I do is that for object in cities. So, first of all, don't get confused. तुम कुछ भी नाम दे सकते हो. It can be anything. You can, it can be I. You can name it any variable. So for I in cities, print I. So when I do this, it will print every city inside this. Okay. So New York City, Mountain View, Chicago, and Los Angeles. Okay. So I hope this is clear how to use a for loop. So for I in cities, I think it's very English. Okay. You just, and always remember to put a colon after every control flow statement. Okay. So in if else also we used to put a colon after if, here also colon. Okay. So always mention this colon. Okay. Otherwise you will get an error. Now components of a for loop, this is pretty much important. Okay. So the first line of the loop obviously starts with a for. Okay. Then it indicates, let's cover this in the some examples. Okay. So for example, if you want to check the range function. Okay. So what does range does is, range is a function, is a built-in function. Obviously, it's already there in Python. And what it does is it create an iterable sequence of numbers. Okay. So if I print this, so what it will do is that it will print hello three times. तो ये loop 3 बार चलेगा. So you can just imagine it like this. Okay. How do you say? Range 3 na. So when I run this, so basically it's telling the for loop to run this 3 times. Okay, in range. Okay, and in range we can do pretty much some more things like start, stop, and step. Okay, so what it does is
Still,
that, yeah, sorry.
like if we want to find like the first 1,000 numbers, so it's like for I in range 1,000, then print I, right?
Yeah, correct. So if you do
Okay.
this, like for example, instead of hello, if I type just I, so it will
Yeah.
print 1 2 3. Okay. Oh, sorry, I think it will print 0 1 2. Let me just run and see. Yeah, 0 1 2. See, because like I
Yes.
mentioned, it start with 0 and 1 and 2. Okay,
Yeah, I got that.
got that. Okay. So now, but if you want to print from 1 2 and 3, if you want, so you can do this like start with 1 and end with, like we are already covering this over here. So let me just delete it right now.
Won't that be 1, 4?
Yeah, it will be 1 4, correct.
Yeah.
So I'll be explaining over here. So see, range also has many arguments. So you can specify start, like from where do you want this to be started, and where do you want this to be stopped, and what's the step number. Okay. So step is basically here. Step is by default 1. So it start with 0 1 2. But if you define the step like step in an interval of 2, so what it will do is that 0 2 4 6, like this it will print. Okay, so these are the things. So yeah, so here is the example. So for example, if I want to start with 1 and I want to print the first 10 natural numbers, so I will stop at 11, and let's say I want it an interval of 2. Okay, so you specify it like this and you just simply run it. So when you run it, you will get 1 3 5 7 9, all the odd numbers. Okay, I hope this is clear. A very simple example. So yeah, same thing. You start with 2 and you end it with 5. Okay, so 2 3 4 5 gets printed. Now if you want a step of 2, 1 3 5 7 9. All right, let me just edit it because it's being repeated. All right.
Will the same apply for finding numbers in middle?
In middle as in
In middle of any numbers, like example, like 90 to 100.
90 to 100, if you want to print.
Yes.
So
So we'll
yeah, you
just
can
put
do.
90 comma 100.
Yeah, so if you want 90 to 100 to be
No,
printed,
like
then
starting.
you will start with
No,
90
like
and
can we put.
mhm,
No, like you can like first I wanna find 1 to 10,
mhm.
then 90 to 100. So it will be like four elements in the loop in a range.
No, then you will have to run another for loop. Okay,
Okay.
okay, you can just add another for loop, that for I in range, then print 90 to 100. All right. So let's proceed. Now creating and modifying list. So we have already talked about it. So title and all these are called methods. Okay. So if you want this string to be as in the form of title, so you just mention dot title. Okay. And similarly over here, now let's loop over the list. Okay. That's why I wanted to take this example. So for example, do you have the cities and you want it to be in the capitalized. Okay, in the capitalized form. So what you do is that you loop. So for city in cities, like again I mentioned, it can be anything. I use the variable city. You can use I, X, or falana dimka, anything. Okay, so for city in cities, what you do is that append in this list. Append, like we have talked about the append in the morning session. So append will do, what append will do is that it will add city which we have taken, which is basically, for example, let's start with New York. So when the first for loop will be running, it will take New York city. Okay, and then it will apply that method title. So it will convert everything into New York City. The first one will all be in capital, and then it will append it to this list. So it will continue for all the elements in this list of cities. So let me just run it. Yeah, and let me just print it. So all right, so for cap city in capitalized city, so capitalized city में अपन ने अभी store कर लिया. Now capitalized cities में now we want to see like what are there in the capitalized city. So if I run it, you can see New York City, which was in small, now it's get in capital. Okay, all the first letter only. Okay, that's why we use title. If you want to capitalize everything, then you can simply use capitalize, which we again talked in our morning session. Sorry, yeah, capitalize. So now if I print it, everything will be in caps. Okay, all right. So see, you can see it's in caps, but you won't have everything other than that in the caps. Okay, only the first letter. And if you want everything to be in caps, like even the EWYORK, you can just use upper. If I'm not wrong, we use upper only. I hope I'm right. Yeah, we use upper to convert everything in caps. And if you want everything in lower, then obviously you can use lower. So I won't go in detail now. Okay, let me just change it back. Hmm. Great. So this is how you can modify a list. I've shown you. Okay. Now you can even use the range function also to do this. Now how you can use range function is that first you will get how many elements are there in this list. Okay. So you know the function length. So first you ask how many elements are there in the cities. So length will tell you one, two, three, four. Four are there. So what you will do is that for index in range 4, obviously this will be 4. Length of cities is 4. It will you will do is index, since right now you have number, so you are indexing it. So cities of 0 equals to cities of 0 dot title, cities of 1 equals to cities of 1 dot title. So this way the for loop will continue. So let me just run it and show you to you. Yeah, see, sorry, I hope this is clear. So in this we just wanted to convert the second one, which is Chicago. So we just use this Chicago to 2 dot cities dot 2 dot title, and we printed cities, and we can see it goes in the caps form. Okay. Now for index in range 4, again the same thing, length of cities and all. We are just seeing it and in a better view. Okay. I hope till now this is clear. Okay. If else is clear, and for loop is clear, and using range is clear. Okay. And if you, through the range, how you can either use in the form of like, either you can directly loop in the list. Okay. So or you can maybe loop in the form of index. Okay, it's up to you. For example, if I don't want to loop in the form of index, what I'll do is that for city in cities, so what it will do is that city will store New York City, Mountain View, Chicago, and Los Angeles. But when I am doing in this form, this index is storing 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I hope this is clear, because the variable over here it's containing two different things. When I use range, it's storing the index, and when I'm using when I not using range, I'm simply looping through the list. It will be storing the element of that list. Okay, so now let's go with another question. Okay, it's question time, guys. So write a for loop below that will print out every whole number that is a multiple of 5 and less than or equal to 30. So come on, guys, it's really very easy question. Okay, you just have to print out every whole number that is a multiple of 5 and less than or equal to 30. And I hope everyone knows what is a whole number. Okay, basic mathematics. So try coding it, guys, because unless you code, trust me, you won't remember. Okay, just by watching my screen and all, you won't remember unless you type it yourself. If you don't want to open any terminal, maybe you can just simply type in here also, in chat box also. Okay, it's not necessary to go over there and type. It's up to you, but I will highly recommend that you please code with us. Otherwise there's no use of attending the workshop, because unless you code with me, it will be just like a lecture. Okay, course lecture which we watch in on YouTube and all. that you are simply playing the video and you are watching the series. The basic difference of workshop is that you code with us, okay? You get hands-on training through us. And if you are stuck with any code or if you're stuck with any doubt, we are there in the workshop in the live to help you out, okay? All right. Uh, it's already pretty much late, so come on, guys. It shouldn't take that much of time. You just have to print multiple of fives until 30 only, okay? Sorry, excuse me. Yeah. All right. So let me just go below and show you the screen. So yeah, as you can see for I in range 5 to 35, okay, and with the step of 5 like we used print I. So simple way, you don't have to do anything. Python does everything for you. You just specify it that from where you want to print it. So from 5, and wait, I think we mentioned whole number, no? Array. So obviously there will be 0, no? Yeah, see. Let me see who has answered it correctly. So for I in range print I into 5 toothless. Oh, smart way. Toothless, you see, when you use some more multiple operators and all, obviously you can simply just have used this, right? We just talked about the range function, and see, it's really pretty powerful function, okay? You should remember this, okay? To try to use range, start, stop, and step, okay? You don't need to use any multiplication operator and all. Same for MRK, okay? You were you were there, but you forgot about the step one, okay? You used an if statement, and again, like if you're using if statement, your code will take some time more to execute, right? So obviously my code is faster than you. And remember, Python is a slow language, right? We discussed about this in the first session. Can anyone tell me why Python is slow as compared to other like C++? If anyone remember my previous session, trust me, whoever.
Every line.
Yeah, yeah. It's because it's interpreted and it's execute every line. So it's a slow language, guys. So that's why obviously make the use of everything, okay? If you're using range, use it like this. Now I hope everyone will remember this. MRK to surely will remember. Alright, let's continue. Alright, we have another question for you. So get ready. So yeah. So the question is, yeah, write a loop that iterates over the name to create a username. So those who don't understand, तुमको इस loop को iterate करना है. This is the list. You have to iterate this one through a loop, and इसमें जो भी नाम है इसको username बनाना है. And how to create a username is that you have to make everything in lower case. So सब चीज lower case में होना चाहिए, एंड यू हैव टू रिप्लेस स्पेसेस विद अंडरस्कोर. सो यहाँ पे जो स्पेस दिख रहा है ना, जो ही त्रिबयानी के जस्ट बीच में, सो यू हैव टू जस्ट रिप्लेस इट विद एन अंडरस्कोर. सो अब नया लिस्ट ऐसा दिखेगा. सो कम ऑन, डू इट गाइस, एंड दोस हु आर कोडिंग, come on, just get up and start coding. And I think it's really easy because we have already discussed this kind of example just before only right now. Okay, by the way, let me just print it, just send it to you in the chat box. Yeah. Acha, by the way, does anyone know the significance of these names? Like, there's a purpose why I kept these names. Can anyone relate? Whose names are those?
Is it the founders of Python or some coding language?
No, no, no. I didn't want to make it so technical.
It's belong to friends.
Yep, yep, correct, correct, correct. So it's a web TV series, I guess, if you have watched or if you have heard of. So these are the characters of that TV series, a famous TV series called Friends. So Joey Tribbiani and Monica Geller, Chandler Bing, Phoebe Buffay. Alright, guys, I hope you are ready with your code. Ujwal, please code also, bro. Try doing it yourself. And others also over here, please try yourself. Trust me, when you try, like MRK tried, and now he learned something new. Okay, today, like how to loop through multiple. This one, Toothless is also trying, and he also learned something new. So when you code, then only you will learn, and you will learn writing the code in much more efficient way. Okay, that's why I'm giving so much time over here. I'm not discussing every line by line of theory. Okay, I'm just skipping the theory because you can go through it by yourself. I'll be sharing the notebook, you can go through, but I am giving time to the live questions and all so that you can just code with me and you can learn. And if you have any doubt, you can ask me right now so that you don't have to go back with some doubts and all. Okay, so यार अब तक तो हो जाना चाहिए था. You just have to use a simple loop. Okay, for loop लगा के I think it would be. And also I've even given a hint to use dot replace to replace the spaces with underscore. अब बोलो हम इतना चीज, like I have provided everything, every hint and all. All right, Toothless is steady with his code. Great. Yup. Space with yeah. Great. And dot lower. All right. So now I'll just display the code. So see, same thing. You just like go through it. For name in names, you just convert it into the lower and then replace it. Very simple. Okay. So Toothless, you are correct, and I hope that when your code is also run, it will give this correct output. Okay. All right. Let's continue. So now iterating through dictionaries with for loop. Okay, so अभी तक हमने list को iterate किया था till now. Now we'll be iterating the dictionaries using the for loop. Okay, so this is a dictionary. Okay, so this was the cast of the what you say Friends series. Okay, so Monica Geller was paired with Chandler, Phoebe with Mike, and Ross with Rachel. Okay, so what we'll be doing is that we'll be looping through it. So for key in cast, okay, so we are, so this is called key. I suppose till now this was clear. So for key in this dictionary, print key. So we are printing the key. Okay. Now if you want to print both key and value, so what you can do is that there's a called method called items, cast dot items. So what you can do is that for key comma value in cast dot items, print key and value. See, this is the format function which we talked about in the string. So you can format it key comma value, so it will print the key also and the value also. Key also and the value also. Alright. So just remember this one. It's a very important one. Dot items. So by using this, you can iterate key and value simultaneously. Okay. You don't have to write two loops. So this is what I like about Python. Okay. Alright. Wow. So Toothless is coding also. Great. Like the enthusiasm, guys. Alright, so I hope this is clear how to loop through a dictionary and print. If you just want to print key, you can type just key in cast, okay. And if you just want to print both, like key and value, you can type cast dot items, okay. So now if you have any doubt, just unmute yourself and ask, or just type in the chat box and just let me know, okay. Or you can just stop me in between and ask, okay. So another question for you guys. This time I wanted to put as much question as I can so that you can code and learn something, because now we have covered almost everything. Okay, and now trust me, if you go to any website and start coding with Python, you will be able to solve everything. Okay, so one more question. You would like to count the number of fruits in your basket. Okay, कितना फ्रूट्स है मेरा बास्केट में, यू वांटेड टू काउंट दिस, एंड इन ऑर्डर टू डू दिस तुमको एक डिक्शनरी दिया हुआ है, ओके, एंड तुमको एक लिस्ट दिया हुआ है विच कंटेन्स द नेम ऑफ ऑल द फ्रूट्स. नाउ यू डोंट वांट टू काउंट एनी अदर थिंग्स विच इज नॉट अ फ्रूट, ओके. सो इस डिक्शनरी में बहुत चीजें जो फ्रूट नहीं है, ओके. सो यू जस्ट वांट टू नो हाउ द काउंट ऑफ द नंबर ऑफ फ्रूट्स, ओके. रिमेंबर द काउंट. सो फॉर एग्जांपल कितना फ्रूट्स है इसमें वो हमको जानना है. So let me just paste it in the chat box so that you can start with your code. Nice, MRK also coded. Great, guys. So it's a very easy thing. I just wanted you to know the use case of like both. Like till now we were only looping in like maybe in dictionary or maybe in just a list, but now we wanted to take the use case of both things. Okay. So लिस्ट को यूज करते हुए डिक्शनरी से हम लोग को निकालना है. It's an interesting question, I would say. So just try it out. If you are not even able to solve, it's fine. Okay. But it's easy, okay? It's not that hard. I'm sure that you guys can code now because you have already learned so much. Okay, so someone is asking by using cast item method. See, you can use anything. It's up to you. Okay. So maybe what you can do is that you first iterate through the list. Okay, and take each single element. So for example, you take apple. Okay, and now what you do is that then you iterate through the complete dictionary and you check if this dictionary has apple or not. So if it has apple, then just make a variable called count and just add that value. Okay, count equals to 0. Oh my god, you are pretty fast, Toothless. So you have created a range and dot get fruits. I like that you use dot get. It's really good that you use dot get because otherwise it might give you an error. Nice. Alright, let's go. Let's see our solution. Okay. So as you can see, if key comma value in dot items, okay, so we are taking the key and we are checking if that key is in fruits. So for example, apple लिया. So अगर apple fruits के अंदर है, okay, so what we'll do is that the result, which is the result, in there we will add the number of these apples. Okay. So if it key is in fruits, so yes, it is in the fruits. So result में add कर दो basket items का key. So what was key? Apples. So obviously उसका value add हो गया. So very simple way. Okay. And Toothless, whatever you did was also outstanding. Okay. I really liked your code that you were using get and all. Okay, you can use it anyway. Okay, both are correct. All right. So I hope this is clear. Let's go to the while loop. Okay. Now, while loop. As simple as for loop, okay, nothing much different over there. Okay. So for loop are an example of definite iteration, meaning that loop's body is run in a predefined number of times. So yeah, for loop में हम लोग like we used to define ना कि like it will be run only 1 2 3 only 4 times. Why? Because the length of this is 4. But in while what happens that जब तक कोई condition वो true नहीं हो जाता है, like false नहीं हो जाता है, it will keep running. Okay. So you can read it. Yeah, so it is indefinite iteration. When a loop repeats an unknown number of times, while loop is an example of indefinite iteration. Okay, so let's take this example. So you have a card deck. Okay, and you wanted to print the length. So जब तक length zero नहीं हो जाता है, so जब तक इसके अंदर like the length of this list card deck is not equals to 0, print card deck. देखो प्रिंट कर रहे हैं हम लोग डॉट पॉप जीरो, पहले एक निकाल दिया हमने और फिर प्रिंट किया हमने कार्ड डेक. ओके, So let's just popped, हमने एक first element निकाल लिया and we have printed the card deck. Okay, so obviously it will get stopped. Why? Because we are popping it out also, so the elements get lesser and lesser as the code gets executed. So when I run it, it will first give me 4 will be gone out, then it will give me 11 8 5 13, then 11 is popped out, 8 5 8 is popped out, like this. Okay, so I hope this is clear about the while loop. While loop is very easy, guys. It's nothing rocket science. Okay, so again same thing over here. So now if the sum of hand is less than 17, hands dot append this. Okay, all right, so I've now just executed it and you can see whatever are there in the card. Okay, so in the hands there are 10 and 8. Okay, why? Because see, while sum of hand is less than 17. Okay, so sum of hand, so currently it has nothing. Okay, so obviously it's 0 is less than something. So what it will do is that it will append card deck dot pop. So something will be popped out of it and it will be appended in the hand. Okay, so for example 10 gets appended. Okay, and it's now popped out. Okay, now what it'll do is that it will again run it, and sum is again less than if 17. So for example अगर now यहाँ पे 10 आ गया ना, now 10 is obviously less than 17. So again something will pop out and it will get added. Okay, so again now if I run it, let me show you again. See, 10 and 8 gets popped out and it's again stored in the head. Okay, so because 10 plus 18 gets greater than 17, that's why this loop gets stopped. Okay, now for example if I made over here change like 2 and 3, so now what it will print is that 3 2 10 8. Why? You can see, let me just run it, you will know. 3 2 10 8. Why? Because 3 was less than 17, so it gets appended in the hand. 2 now 3 plus 2 5 is again less than 17, it again gets appended. 5 plus 10 15 is again less than 17, it again gets appended. And now the 8 is appended, then it will check again, then no more gets appended. Okay, so it's a simple thing, you can go through it by yourself. Now the components of a while loop, this is just definition, guys, you can just go through it yourself. Okay, कि colon होना चाहिए at the end, and there should be a condition, it should start with a while. Okay, you can just read through it. Now we have another question. Let's start with the question. So find the factorial of a number using while loop. Okay, you have to find the factorial of a number. Those who don't know what a factorial is, so 6 factorial is written as 6 into 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. It terminates at 1. Okay, so it's 720. So you have to write the factorial of a number, remember, using while loop. Okay, you can't use any other loop or something, you have to use a while loop in your code. I'm sure that till now you must have figured out how to do it. And guys, after the end of this session, I'll be assigning everyone some QR coins. Like yesterday, also I have noted who was answering and who answered first and all. Today also I'm noting it down, and everyone will be given 10 or 20 or even maybe even 30 QR coins based on the question which we sent. Okay, so always remember, like if you are coding and doing something, you will be getting something in return with us from us. Okay. And those who don't know the what you can do from the QR coins, you can obviously go to the QR store and see that what are the items you can redeem from the QR coins. Okay, you can redeem Amazon voucher or anything. All right. Oh, so MRK has important math. All right. So maybe you remembered our last lecture, print math dot factorial int input. Okay, you are taking an input also. I think you could have just taken six. You mentioned it six. Alright, so great. You are taking an input and then you are doing a factorial. But I wanted you to use a while loop now. You are simply using a library. I mentioned now clearly that you have to use a while loop. I just want you to learn like how to use these things. Okay. Obviously you can do in this way, it's not wrong, but just wanted you to learn like how to use a while loop and everything. Okay, like you should know how to do things with different way. Okay, all right, so I don't think anyone's coding. Is anyone right now writing the code, or should I show the solution, because we are already past our time? Toothless, are you writing some code? Mrk, are you doing again? Or Srijit, are you doing? Or Ujjwal? All right, let's extend this code. So while anyone is writing the code, all right, so let me show you the code now. See, you could have write this down in a much simpler way also. Okay, like what you did is absolutely correct. Okay, like you have written n equals to n minus 1, but you can simply write like how Toothless wrote n minus equals to 1. Okay, it's much more faster. Okay, you also take very less time, so it was very easy. While number is greater than equals to 0, you just keep multiplying it. Okay, I hope this was clear. Now let's move forward. Okay, all right, we have another question for you. Now you have to use the for loop. All right, sorry, now you have to use the for loop to find the factorial. Okay, so now try using the for loop. Just think how you will be using the for loop to print the factorial of a number. Oh, sorry, I minimized my application. Yeah, guys. So just use a for loop. Guys, we are already like at the end of our session. Okay, we have just given this some examples and all so that you can learn something, or if you get any doubt you can ask from us. All right, Srijit does and his code. He has taken an input. Factorial is 1. Okay, it was the last one, while 1. Okay, fine. Yeah, that's correct, Srijit. It's fine. Okay, mrk. All right, guys, you can just simply format in the way the Toothless is sending. Okay, like just start with 3 backticks and then just enter the complete code and then end with 3 backticks. So for I in range, correct. Yeah, Mark is right. Yeah. So let's go on. Let's see our code. So same way in range, we will be using the function range and we'll be printing it out. Okay, storing it in some variable and then we'll be printing it out. Okay, I hope this was clear. Now the last part of our session, the break and continue and zip and enumerate, which we said that we'll be talking about. Okay, so break and continue. Why we use break and continue? So for example, we want our loop to stop after some period. Okay, maybe we don't want our loop to still continue. For example, if we wanted to find a machine, let's say that we wanted to print everything. Okay, in this list, but now we thought that as soon as I found my dog kernel, this dog food, I will stop the loop because I'm fine with this much amount. Okay, so you can simply use a break loop. So for example, in this example, what we are doing is that first we are looping in through this list. So what is this list? For cargo in manifest, if weight is greater than equals to 100. Okay, so weight initially it was at assigned 0. So if it gets greater than equals to 100, then break it. Okay, else what you do is that start appending those items. So in cargo 0 weight was 15 kg. Appended and append first. Yeah, first append the item which is bananas. So cargo 0 is this one bananas. Okay, and then add cargo 1 which was 15. So let me just print it out. So yeah, items get printed. So you can see till only machine was printed, cheese was not printed. Why? Because 15 plus 24 plus 42 is obviously less than 100. is was not greater than equals to 100, so the for loop kept running. But when as soon as 120 was added, it exceeded 100, this condition, and it braked. Okay, it didn't proceed further. So this is how you use the break keyword. Okay, to break in your, to just apply a break. Okay, so you can check over here, we are just explaining the same thing. Now you can use continue to skip one iteration. Okay, so let's just take a simple example to explain it to you. So what we are doing over here is that we are listing over these foods, this list. Okay, and if this food is not in fruits, okay, for example अगर apple इस fruit का list में नहीं हुआ, okay, so we will print that not a fruit, obviously तो वो fruit नहीं होगा, and we'll just say it continue. Okay, and we won't doing this kind of stuff. Okay, अगर like let's just suppose, take an example. Okay, let me just run it so that you will be able to understand it easily. Okay, so for example, first it said it apple. Okay, so first we will check whether apple is not in fruits or not. So apple is in fruits. Okay, so what will it will do is that it will add, like fruit count was 0, it will add 1 over here, and then it will print found a fruit, which is apple. All right, it will skip all this. Okay, it will skip all this because like we mentioned, continue skip one iteration of a loop. Okay, so it will skip this because it was correct. Okay, now we'll again check for apple. Apple is again there. Burger, now burger is not there. Okay, so burger is not in a fruit, so it will print this out, print not a fruit, and it will skip everything. I hope this is clear. Like if you have any doubt, please let me know. So what we are doing is that, again I'll explain. You are looping through the food. So पहले apple लिया. Okay, and we are checking whether apple is in fruits or not. Okay, so अगर मैं यहाँ पर in लिखता, simple in, not in. Okay, just for example, apple in fruits, so apple is there in fruits. Okay, so it's true. But now when I'm doing not, so now it's saying false. Okay, why? Because apple is there, so ये false हो गया. ऑलराइट, और फॉल्स होते ही इट विल लाइक ऑब्वियसली इट्स फॉल्स हो गया, तो ये अब चलेगा नहीं, तो अब बाहर वाला चलेगा. याद रखना, दिस इज नॉट इन इफ, दिस इज नॉट अंडर द इफ स्टेटमेंट. ओके, लेट मी जस्ट हिट एन एंटर एंड शो यू. सी, दिस इज वेयर द इफ स्टेटमेंट स्टॉप्स. ओके, this is the code block of if, and all these are outside if. Okay, this is just inside for loop, and this is outside even the for loop. Okay, so what is happening guys, ये false हो गया. Since it is false, so obviously it won't execute anything inside it. Okay, and it will just print this one. But what we are doing is that जैसे ये true हो जाए, like this condition gets true. Okay, तो इस कंटिन्यू के बाद जो भी इसके अंदर है ना, इस लूप के अंदर, द फॉर लूप के अंदर जो भी है, लाइक इसका अगर मैं कुछ भी लिखूं कि प्रिंट आई. ओके, तो इस कंटिन्यू के बाद मैं कुछ भी लिखूं, इट वोंट गेट प्रिंटेड. ओके, अगर ये ट्रू हो गया तो. आई होप ये सबको क्लियर आ रहा है. इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दैट यू नो दिस थिंग. ओके, ये फॉल्स था, तो ये पूरा लूप नहीं चला. ओके, दिस, ये पूरा लूप नहीं चला, और इसका बाहर का चल गया. बट जैसे ये ट्रू हुआ, जैसे ये ट्रू हुआ तो क्या हुआ, ये तो ऑब्वियसली प्रिंट होगा बिकॉज इट वाज ट्रू. एंड देन इट केम टू कंटिन्यू, एंड कंटिन्यू से वापस लौट जाओ. ओके, नीचे का मत देखो, वापस लौट जाओ तुम फोर लूप में. सो इट अगेन गेट्स रिटर्न टू द फोर लूप एंड इट इटरेट्स ओवर द नेक्स्ट वन. ओके, आई होप दिस इज क्लियर. So you can see, found a fruit, then not a fruit, and total fruit was 2. I hope this is clear. सबको ये समझ में आ गया होगा. Alright, clear. So now another question. Write a loop with a break statement to create a string new sticker. Okay. So what is new sticker? I think you will need some code. Yeah. Yep. Arey, this is code only, na? Shit. Uh, Wait. Let me just copy it. Because obviously you will be needing this. Yeah. Let me add this over here. Great. So this is the question, guys. Just add one more code over here. So तुम लोग को एक न्यू स्टिकर का एक ऐसा वेरिएबल बनाना है एंड व्हाट न्यू स्टिकर विल कंटेन इज दैट it should contain exactly 140 characters. Okay, it shouldn't contain anything more than 140 characters. Remember this point. And new sticker should contain the headlines from this headline list. Okay, so let me just share you the headline list in the chat box. So I've shared you the headline list. Okay, so how you have to create this new sticker is that insert a space between every headline. So local beer eaten by a man, space, legislature announces new laws, space, all this will be printed, and as soon as 140 character is met, stop it. You can't add anything more than 140 characters in this variable. So I hope this question is clear. You have to truncate the last headline in the middle so that new sticker is exactly 140 characters long. अगर किसी को अभी भी क्वेश्चन समझ में नहीं आया प्लीज आस्क. इट्स अ just an interesting question. Okay, just you have to think out of the box. Nothing new, सेम चीज यूज होगा. एंड इसको भी करने का बहुत तरीका, लाइक टिल नाउ एवरीवन हैज सॉल्व्ड एवरी क्वेश्चन बाय देयर ओन वे. ओके, so just think of it. You have to create a new sticker and you have to add the headline list in this variable. So let's see how you can do it. And it ended it fireman. Okay, यहीं पे रुक गया. Why? Because maybe यहाँ पे 140 characters meet हो गया. मे बी फायर पे भी रुक जाता, यहाँ पे 140 कैरेक्टर्स हो जाता. ओके, सो इट्स अप टू यू हाउ यू राइट दिस कोड. जस्ट अ सिंपल चैलेंज. ओके, नथिंग न्यू. Let's see who code this first, and whoever code this one first, they will get 20 Quora coins. Remember, I'll be noting this one down. Others will also get for the previous question, don't worry, but just a special one. Let's see who answers this first. So, Sandeep, by the way, please make a note of like whoever have answered the question first, okay, in from the chat box, and just send it to me so that I will assign them the QR coins, okay? All right. So, guys, type in your code, run it, execute it, check it again, and then send it over here. Like I showed you also how to format your code using three backticks. And now, if you guys have any doubt, just let me know. Ujjwal, Pudina, MRK, any doubt? Lalita, any doubt? Because we are end already, time is up. We are already past 20 minutes. The workshop was to be of 1 hour, but I just wanted you all to do some exercises and all. All right, no one. Hmm. अभी तक तो हो जाना चाहिए था. Like we have solved some pretty serious questions also till now. All right, Toothless is back again. So he has sent this code. While count character is this right? We'll run it. Let me just copy your code and I'll run it. Okay, so just let's run your code. The new sticker is so let me check, because I also don't know like what's the where it ends. Okay, nope, it's 98 only, bro. It has to be 140 exact. Like I mentioned, exactly 140. No more, no less. Exactly. You can even learn the last line, read the last line. If necessary, truncate the last headline in the middle so that the new sticker is exactly 140 characters long. Guys, when I'll be telling you this code, trust me, like you will be like, wow, this is really easy. Like I think you have figured it out. Toothless, you have figured it out, but you just have to make a little bit more changes. Okay, don't go much complex. Just think like how can you make it just 140. Okay, or like if anyone has any suggestion like how they will do, they can just unmute themselves and they can say. It's not necessary that you have to write the code. Maybe you can just speak out like what's your approach, what's your method of solving this. All right, so just let me show you the code. Okay, so the code is over here. Yeah, so what you will be doing is that you will be obviously looping through all the headlines. Okay, and you will be just using a if statement. So as the new sticker length goes greater than 140, you will break. Else what you will do is that you will skip adding it. Okay, so this was our variable, and we just keep adding the headline. Okay, and remember I said space. Okay, so that's why we are keeping here space. If I had said underscore, then obviously you won't be using, oh sorry, my bad, then obviously you will be using the underscore over here to add the headlines. Okay, but since I said space, so you are using the space. And now if I print it, let me just run it. Yeah, it's, see, this much is the, this is our new sticker, and you can even check the length of it. So it's exactly, hmm, okay, that's strange. We break our statement, we break through the for loop once it was greater than 140. So let me just, give me a minute. So headlines loop कर रहे हैं हम लोग. We are taking each headline, and length of new sticker अभी 0 है. So obviously this will get added. So this plus a space. Next again जाएंगे 140. So let me just check it manually. Okay, just give me a minute, guys. Let me just check it manually. Okay, so length of this is 23. All right. Let me just add everything. Okay, कहाँ तक ये होता है? Let me see. Plus length of this. I think एक और ऐड करना पड़ेगा to go to 140. I hope I am not wrong, because previous में भी हम लोग का जो एग्जांपल था जिसके थ्रू आया था वो 158 था, right? So I hope by running this it should be around 140, 131. Okay, so it will go again till this one. तो अपना क्या प्रिंट आउट आया था? तो इसका सब चीज नहीं होगा ऑब्वियसली. 131 हो गया. नो, 9 letters more. So brave night runs away. Okay, so it's printing everything. Okay, so 131 it takes. Since 131 was not greater than 140, so it didn't break out. Okay, okay. So what we can do is that No worry, guys, no worries. It's fine. Not a big deal. We know some simple tricks using Python. We can do this easily. It's not a big deal for us. Okay. So slicing सबको पता ही है. Slicing लगा देंगे till obviously 141. Yeah, I think this would work. Let's see. Now let me check. अरे यार इसको delete करते हैं. Let it be there. Now let's our check our new length. Okay, index अरे यार 140 तक होगा because 139 is the index now. See, I also do this kind of mistake. So now if I check, it's 140. Yeah. So I hope you guys understood why what I did. Okay. So I simply first kept adding the headlines, and as soon as the headlines length got greater than 140, I break the loop. And now since our headline was containing, like, obviously, since you can see why it was 158, because this line is more than 9, it has more than 9 letters. Okay, so then what I did, once the loop got stopped and it contains all this, so I just sliced it and stored only 140 characters. So I sliced it using this, using string slicing, which you already know, which we have talked in the morning session. So I hope this example was clear. Just please let me know in the chat box if this example was clear. Just type yes or no if this example was clear. Just to write the whole headline. No, it's not necessary. Like it was mentioned that you can truncate it. Okay. Can we write few characters from a letter? Yeah, obviously. That's how we got now. Oh, you also did the same thing. That nice. Okay, MRK also did the same thing. That's nice. Nice. Yeah, yeah, same to same. Nice. Great. All right. Everyone else, is this example clear? All right, let's move forward. So last portion, zip and enumerate, the most useful one in the dictionary, which we'll be using and everything and all. Okay. So what does zip does is that, as the name suggests, ये जोड़ देता है, like it just zip everything. Okay. So for example, if I want to zip to list, so one list contains the names and the other list contains the weight of it. So I'll just use the zip one, zip items comma weight, and I'll make it a list. Okay, that's why I'm using this function list. And if I print it, it will give me a list containing bananas weight 15, mattress weight 24. So this is how you can zip it. Okay, a very useful function. Okay, you will be using it a lot of time using in the for loop and all. Yeah, so see here only you can see. So for item comma weight, so for example, if you had two list and you wanted to iterate it simultaneously. Okay, so what you can do is that you can zip it together and iterate it simultaneously using item comma weight, and then simply print it out. So it will say bananas 15, mattress 24. See, this is the, see, this kind of thing is not available in any language. Okay, this is why Python is so popular. Okay, now in addition to zipping two lists together, you can also unzip also. So to unzip, just use an asterisk. Okay, so for example, if you have this kind of list and if you want to unzip it, then just use an asterisk and store it into different variables. So if I run it, bananas matrices, it gets stored in separate variable and it gets stored into separate variable. Okay, I hope this was clear. Pretty easy thing. Enumerate. Now why we use enumerate is that basically we use enumerate to get indices. Okay, so for example, ये एक list है and मेरे को इसका, मैं जब इसको loop कर रहा हूँ, like when I'm looping this list, I want to know the indices also. Like 0 पे bananas है, 1 पे matrices है, 2 पे ये. So how do I do that? Okay, so what we can do is that we can use enumerate. Okay, यहाँ पे zip भी use किया है. So yeah, obviously you can use zip. So what you did, तुमने length ले लिया items का और उसका एक रेंज बना लिया. सो रेंज में क्या होगा, ऑब्वियसली 0 1 2 3 4. सो दिस विल कंटेन, और उसको जिप कर लिया एंड यू प्रिंटेड इट आउट. सो इंस्टेड यू कैन use enumerate, a simple way, going instead of going through all this plenty line of code, you can just type enumerate items. So what enumerate it, and it will provide you an index also together, and you can print both index and the element inside the list. So very simple. I hope this was clear about zip and enumerate. Just let me know if you want me to repeat or tell you anything. like zip हम लोग use करते हैं to combine two things. Okay, and enumerate we use to just know the index also while we are looping. Okay, कभी कभी ऐसा होता है कि हमको जरूरत होता है कि इंडेक्स भी मैं आई नीड द इंडेक्स ऑफ ऑल्सो कि लाइक मैं अभी कौन सा इंडेक्स पे हूँ. So that's why we use enumerate also. I hope this is clear. All right, clear. So let's move to another question. So now use zip to create a dictionary cast that uses name as keys and heights as value. Very easy. You have to use the zip. I'll be sending you the code and just create a dictionary. Okay, you have to create a dictionary. The name of the dictionary variable should be cast. Okay, let me just highlight it. Yep. So you have to create a dictionary named cast that uses name as keys. So name should be as keys and this heights should be as values. Okay. I hope it's easy. Maybe you can just unmute yourself and let me know. All right, I'll just show you to you. It's very easy. So what you will do is that you will just use zip. So zip cast name comma cast height and store it in a dictionary. Okay. You will just make a dictionary like this, DICT, and you will store it in the variable called cast. Okay. So you can see as it's printed out. So another question. I think it's the last question. Okay, it's also using the enumerate. So you are using enumerate to modify the cast. Okay, I want everyone you to solve this one. Okay, this is a nice question. Just solve this one. This is the last question which we'll be doing. Let me just delete the previous one, otherwise you will get confused. So you have a list and you have the heights, and what you have to do is that you have to create at the end in such a way that the cast name should contain, like Barney Stinson should contain 150. Okay, it's like Barney Stinson 150, Robin Szymanski 100, Ted Mosby 40. So like this, at the end you have to make a list which will contain elements in this way: Barney Stinson 150, Robin Szymanski 100, using enumerate. Okay, remember using enumerate. Let me highlight it again. Yeah. So using enumerate, you have to modify the cast list so that each element contains the name followed by the character's corresponding income in $1,000. Okay. So obviously it's in thousand, so it's 150K. Okay, dollars. So for example, the first element of the cast should change from Barney Stinson. So cast का जो first element है, which is Barney Stinson, it should be changed to Barney Stinson 150. Robin Szymanski should be changed to Robin Szymanski 100. Okay, with a space, and you have to use enumerate. Okay. So MRK, Toothless, Srijit, if you are also doing, please try this one. This is the last question, and it will just give you a confidence. Okay, that now you know even how to do zip and enumerate. Okay, because it's a new concept. Okay, you don't get zip enumerate in any other languages and all. So जिसको enumerate clear नहीं है, वापस मैं ऊपर चले जाता हूँ, एक बार enumerate दिखा देता हूँ. So what you do is that for I comma item in enumerate items, so this is how you enumerate. Okay, so you have to do a similar kind of thing over here. Not exactly you have to do that thing. I'll tell you why we are using enumerate. Okay, because we will be using enumerate to get the index. Okay, so that you can easily add in just one for loop. तो क्या जब ये loop will be just getting, I'll also be getting the index. Okay, of this. Okay, all right, it's already 5:30. Okay, let's just let me show you the code. Okay, so for I comma name in enumerate cast, so cast में हम लोग enumerate किए. So what we do is that हम लोग को अब इसका वो भी मिलेगा, what we say, index. So cast I plus equals to, so Barney Stinson plus equals to, so what it does is the plus equals to a space plus heights of I. So what is I? It is 0. पहला लूप में 0 होगा, तो 0 में क्या 150. So we added 150 and converted it into a string so that we can concatenate it. So Barney Stinson plus space plus 150. So this is how you get. Okay, this is the output, as you can see. All right. Oh, we have another. list comprehension also. So list comprehension is nothing, guys. So for example, you write these loops like for I in cities. Okay. So instead of writing this way, you can just use a list comprehension, which we say that you create a list. Okay. And what you do is that inside that list you type for city in cities. So you're looping this thing. Okay. So for city in cities, city dot title. So in this way, like you created a list first, and then you are looping it, and then you are appending it. Okay. So obviously it will take a lot of time. So instead of that, you can do this kind of thing. You are looping it and just storing it in the list, making a list out of it. So this way. So again, the output is the same, but it's much more efficient. It's just in one line of code. See, that's why we use Python. Okay. Like 100 line of code, you can optimize it to just 3 or 4 lines. Okay. That's the kind of see, Python is that much powerful. Okay. You can do everything in just one line. So I hope list comprehension is clear. For city in cities, you are storing city dot title. So you can even use conditional statements also. So for example, for x in range, okay, let me show. Yeah, for x in range 9, if x is even, so then multiply it by 2 and store it. Okay. So you can use if statement also inside the list comprehension instead of going through this lengthy process for x in range a. If x, you will have to write if this kind of thing. Okay. You can do this in all this of thing in one line of code. So it's a very powerful tool. I want you all to go through this notebook, okay, this last portion through yourself. And if you don't know anything, just let me know, okay. So you can even do if else, but remember, if you are doing if else, you have to write this code before for loop. Okay. So yeah. So if else comes before for loop if you are using else. But if you are using only if, not else, then it will be coming after for loop. Okay. First you will write for, and then you will write the if condition. List comprehension is clear. There are just a few more questions over it. You can go through it by yourself. And now just let me know if everything is clear, or if you want me to explain anything, or if you have any doubt, you can now just unmute yourself or ask. Because already like it's gone to around 2 hours. So I've tried covering everything. Okay. I really tried covering everything. It's really like difficult for me also to cover everything in just 3 hours. Okay. Like at least it will take 1 week of learning, but I tried you all to so that you can learn in just 3 hours. Okay. So that if you had seated just for 3 hours and gone through my notebooks at the end for like even half an hour, you will remember everything and you have learned a lot. Okay. And now you can go and solve some questions. Okay. So yeah, someone asked me around the question. So what you can do is that there's a very good site called Hackering. Okay. So if you type Hackering, I'll give you the link also. The first site, you can open it, and it will ask you to sign in. Okay. Obviously you are not companies, you are job seekers, so sign up and code. So I will just log in because I already have an account created. So for developers, I will log in, and once I've logged in, it will be asking me my password. Okay. Yeah, it's already saved. Yep, so I've logged in, and you can start with Python basics. As you can see, there's a Python basic skill also. You can get certified, or you can start with this also. Like if you just scroll down, here are the skills. If you want to learn any language, for example, if you want to learn Python, click on Python, and from here you can solve everything. So for example, first go with basics. So if you just check mark basics, okay, then it will only show you the basics one. Okay. So all the basics ones, like I've already solved everything. Okay. So Python basic and all. I think you can solve everything till intermediate, I guess. Okay. So this is a very great website. Okay. I hope this was clear. Now anything else? Yeah, today is the last session, Lalita. Yeah, guys, please, like, it will be beneficial for me also and for others also. Like, if we are coming with similar kind of workshop or any program, we will know like where we can improve. Okay, so anything else, or maybe like, even if it was good to you, like you like the this kind of way, a 3-day session or a 2-day session, or anything else which you want from your side, just let us know. So guys, I've shared all the 3 notebooks also in the event announcement. Okay, and now guys, if you have any feedback for me, awesome sir. Thank you, MRK. Thanks a lot. Like, you guys only make it so much interactive. Okay, because of you guys, it was so interactive. You were sending all the codes, you were doing all the questions. I like the questions, but you keep us engaged. Thank you, Toothless. Thank you. Thanks a lot, guys. Like, all right, guys. So let's just wrap up our session. Okay, and it was really nice interacting with you and really get to know you all. So if you have any doubt, you can always reach out to me. Okay, or you can just we have our channel also. We have different channels. So if you are doing starting machine learning or anything or such, you can always just ping us. Okay, you can ask me for anything, any Python related doubt or any machine learning related doubt, because I'm in this the data science and machine learning domain. Okay, thank you, Lalita, for joining. Thanks a lot. And just let me know if you need anything else from my side. Okay, and if you have any more feedback or anything, or if you want anything else for us to come up with, just let us know. Thank you, Srijit. Thanks a lot. All right, guys. Then see you soon in our upcoming sessions. Till then, take care and bye bye, guys. Thank you, Toothless. Sure. All right, guys. See you soon. Bye bye.